Do you procrastinate? Do you low-key use procrastination as an excuse to stay in the familiar and not advance towards your dreams? Am I slightly pissing you off by asking you this right now? Hey, my name is Laura. I am an internationally tolerated business coach, and today I'm going to share with you the 6 reasons you might procrastinate. I can't help myself, so at some point therein, I'm going to give you ways to get out of the rut of procrastination. Let's dive in. The first reason you likely procrastinate is because it's a habit. Habits are things we do regularly. So if you procrastinate regularly, it stands to reason that you will continue to procrastinate. If you were in school and you did not enjoy school and you did not enjoy doing homework, of course you would procrastinate on doing it. You became accustomed to putting things off to the last minute, handing in something that may be serviceable, may not, but at least you're able to skate by and move on to the next day and the next task that you have to do. So procrastination could just very well be a habit for you that it may be in your best interests to modify. Is it a habit for you? Let me know in the comments down below. Another reason you may procrastinate is because of wavering strength in your attention and focus abilities. I'm no psychologist. I don't know you. I would never prescribe you with I would never diagnose you with ADD or ADHD, but inattentiveness is rampant in our society. We have so many different sources of stimulation available to us at any time. Our brains are becoming more and more adjusted to receiving a lot of dopamine from a lot of various inputs. So if you know that you have to head down and get nitty-gritty and complete a task, there's a decent probability that your brain is not getting a bunch of dopamine rewards, right? The hit of happiness at the thought of completing that task. So you continue to put it off. You could attempt to reframe your relationship with this and realize that, well, when I get the task done, I'll feel glad that it's done, especially if these are tasks that have the potential to move you closer to what you really want in life, right? Especially if these are tasks geared towards helping you make more money, helping your business be more successful, improving your relationship. Once you execute on those tasks, even if you've been in the habit of procrastination, there's a decent likelihood you're gonna get a nice dopamine hit out of it. So even if you don't get the dopamine hit to start, plan for getting it when you are done and get to work and stop procrastinating. Another reason you may be stuck in a rut of procrastination is a doom and gloom cycle is overwhelming your thoughts and emotions. It's overwhelming Winstons. How many Winston jokes can I keep in these videos? The next reason you may be stuck in a rut of procrastination is that your thoughts and emotions are being taken hostage by a doom and gloom cycle. What do I mean by that? You may be feeling like, well, what's the point? It's not gonna work anyway. So if you've been procrastinating on reaching out to a potential business partner, if you've been procrastinating on getting on a phone call with a prospective client, if you've been procrastinating on putting a first or new offering online, and even if it's subconsciously somewhere in here, you feel like, it's probably not gonna work anyway, of course you're not gonna feel incredibly motivated to take the actions required to get that thing done. So if, as you hear me say this right now, you realize, oh shit, some of that is at play for me, I encourage you to consider, well, what is at stake here? If you're in a doom and gloom cycle and you're therefore not taking action towards your dreams and goals, you're quite literally like saying fuck you to yourself, and you're saying fuck you to your dreams and goals. That's a lot that's at stake for me. That would be enough to get me to get up and go and start taking action. And if you truly feel like the actions on your plate aren't gonna work out, how can you modify those actions to something that you feel has a higher probability of actually working out, right? If you feel like your book is not gonna sell, how could you modify the book? Could you break it up into a video course that may be more fun and exciting for your market? Could you give away a few chapters to get people interested in wanting to finish the book? How could you tweak what you need to do so that you feel more like it could be successful to help you get started? The next reason you procrastinate, and it's related to the previous one, all of these things tend to interrelate together, they're not distinct. But the next reason is fear of the unknown. We talk about that a lot on this channel. Our bodies and brains and hearts and guts are all programmed to keep us in the known, because even if it sucks, at least we know that the known is safe. It's not killing any of us, right? At least not violently all at once. It might be killing us a little bit at a time though. But we have this natural tendency, we have a lot of governing forces that are trying to keep us in the known. If the actions that you are procrastinating on would take you out of the known and into the unknown, especially without any practice, any conscious thought or actions on modifying your relationship with the unknown, of course, there's gonna be a lot of inner workings in your body telling you, just watch Netflix on the couch instead, you can do it tomorrow. A very easy, effective hack for this, if you will, is catching, it's the fear of the unknown that's been holding me back from doing this thing that I really wanna do. Think about this. If your brain is on this loop of, I want to do this, but I'm not going to do it. I want to work out, but I'm not going to do it. I want to reach out to this person, but I'm not going to do it. What's the first half of that statement? Your brain is telling you that you want to do it. You want to do it. So stop denying yourself what you want, even if there's an element of the unknown. If you want it, go do it. Don't let fear of the unknown hold you back. The best way to conquer fear of the unknown is to make it known. If you have to break that down into an earlier step to inch your way into turning the unknown into known, then great, do that. When I first started working out, I had to get so granular with the steps to get my ass up and over to the gym. I would literally think to myself, if I were to work out, the conditional is a very helpful phrase here, right? Because I'm not saying to myself, get up, Laura, and work out. I'm giving myself a conditional phrase that gives me a little bit of a feeling of power and wiggle room, and it makes the question easier to answer. If I were to work out, what would be the first step I take? Well, I would get up and put my sneakers on. Okay, I get up and put my sneakers on. What would I do next? I'd fill a bottle of water. Okay, I filled a bottle of water. If you have to take those micro steps to get you out of the rut of procrastination, out of the familiar that you don't want anymore, then go ahead, start making it that micro and that granular if you need to. Now I work out all the time and I'm in pretty good shape, and that is how I started. You could apply that for absolutely anything. If you were about to follow up with a prospect, what would you do? Would you go sit at the computer? What would you do next? Open your email? Before you know it, you have followed up with that prospect. So gradually turn the unknown into the known to get you out of the rut of procrastination. The next reason you may procrastinate is because you lack clarity on what you really want. This is another thing we discuss very often in my channel because it is so damn important. If you're not clear on what you really want and you're kind of just working towards something because it looks cool on social media, or because your friends are doing it, or because your family has told you to do it, is it any wonder you procrastinate on the tasks associated with it? think about the things that you really, really do want to do, right? If you really want to go out to this restaurant for dinner with your friends, do you procrastinate on that? No. If you really want to buy some new thing on Amazon, do you procrastinate on that? No. So what can you find that you really, really want to do that is aligned with getting you closer and closer to your overall goals to generate more income, build a more successful business, have a greater impact in your community? What nuggets of those things could be stuff that you really, really want to do and you feel clarity on so that you become so much more likely to actually do them and not hang out in the rut of procrastination. Speaking of things that you really want to do and figuring out the best action steps to take in pursuit of them, I have an incredibly powerful free tool for you. It comes along with a very private special training video that teaches you exactly how to do that. The cool part is you'll come up with something completely tailored and unique to you and exactly where you're at in your business and in your career right now. Go check out that free tool at bizwintoday.com. The last and maybe most sneaky, sinister, definitely higher level reason you may be procrastinating is because you're going after lesser goals. Ben Hardy, in his amazing book, Your Future Self Now, says that the greatest, and I might be paraphrasing, but he says something like the greatest enemy for your big goal is the lesser goal, because it may seem easier to achieve, you may be way more familiar with it, so it is way more known. Going for that lesser goal will divert you away from the bigger goal. So while you may still be taking little actions to get to that lesser goal, you're procrastinating on the big actions required to get you closer to your big goal. As an example for me, I kind of like video editing. I know on this channel I say all the time, don't do video editing, but I sort of like cutting where the jokes go, where my, what's the word? I'm literally bloopering a blooper, where the bloopers go. Like, I sort of like doing all that. I have that element of control over it, and it's fun for me. I'm not saying you should never do the sort of smaller tasks in your business that you kind of like to do. But when they're pulling you away from that larger goal, I have big goals here. I have big visions, I got big plans, and I appreciate you subscribing and sticking with me and watching me on my journey here. But anytime I decide to edit a video, if it's not in replace of like watching Netflix, if it's not like when I can't sleep and I wouldn't be thinking super big anyway, then editing a video is pulling me away from my bigger goals. So you need to start realizing, what are these little things that I find myself dabbling in, that I let myself get magnetized by, that are actually causing me to procrastinate on my bigger goals, like how Winston, the lesser goal of petting Winston. Do you have a tennis ball? He's got a tennis ball. The lesser goal of petting Winston versus my bigger goal of communicating these messages to you. Speaking of fear of the unknown, that is one of 8 fears that may be holding you back in your business. I highly encourage you check that video out because I get into some of the more sneaky, sinister fears that even 7- and 8-figure business owners have. It's super duper interesting. I'll see you over there.